Hey Ron, so in this video, I'm going to take you through my plan for 2024. Now, if you're watching this, you're going to see very quickly that it's quite similar to the 2023 setup, with a couple of important changes that I'm going to take you through on this call, particularly in this video, particularly in the product engine and the team section. So they're the two main ones where I'm going to take you through a couple of differences. One is very much something that's different today. The other one is kind of looking forward into the future and how I could see it changing. But if you haven't checked out that 2023 video, definitely go and check that out. So we'll go through this step by step like we did in the last video, starting with Traffic Engine and working our way all the way through. But really what I want to just note before I go through this is for 2024, there's really just like two main things that I'm focused on. Number one is consistency, and number two is focusing on the inputs. So with consistency, it's really just about doing what I've already been doing, but on a much more consistent basis, day in, day out. And with focusing on the inputs, I'm being just really clear about like what are the inputs that I need to feed into this machine, into this system that are going to get me the outputs that I need. And so I'll take you through what some of those inputs are as we go through this. But for me, I just want to set it up in a way this year where it's really clear what I have to do every day, every week, and then just let the thing run. So let's start with the traffic engine. Let me just zoom in here. All right, so first one is I'm going to start up YouTube ads again. So for the second half of last year, I stopped running ads for a couple of reasons. Number one, I did want to just cut some costs. So that was a really easy way to do it. And I was generating enough leads basically from organic YouTube and emailing my email list. And so given last year, the second half of last year was very much focused on my EP service. So I wasn't running any sales for the accelerator. I didn't really need to be running ads. I didn't need a high volume of leads or calls booked every month. I was able to generate enough revenue with just the list that I had built up over the last few years. So obviously that shows the importance of an email list. Mine's sitting just over 5K at the moment. So, I don't have like the biggest email list. I don't have the biggest following, like on YouTube, I've got just over 2K subscribers. So it's not huge at all, right? But that can still generate, six figures, multiple six figures of income. And so having that email list, I think is really like the backbone of this traffic engine. And so if you run a service business, then I definitely recommend that you start building that email list like ASAP. The easiest way to do it is by running YouTube ads. Obviously, then you're paying for the emails, but it's worth the investment. And the other way is to generate content. So I'm going to fire up the YouTube ads again. You'll probably see my face popping up a little bit more on YouTube. And then YouTube channel. So the aim this year is to do one video a week. It's been really interesting seeing this over the last year. Like it must have been 2019 or 2020 to end of 2022, I reckon I made about 100 videos. And then in 2023, so last year, I probably only made about 10 videos. But because I had built up that massive bank, last year my YouTube channel grew more than the year before. And it keeps compounding and growing at a faster rate every day and every week, regardless of how many videos I'm posting. So for me, YouTube's just an amazing platform to use because of that. Obviously, there are so many platforms that you can use to generate content. It could be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I've just found YouTube grows in a way that the others don't. And it's something that you can leave and not you don't have to release a video every week and it still grows even when you're doing nothing. Whereas like my LinkedIn, it doesn't really grow as much. It's not like I'm generating views from LinkedIn, even though I have posted a lot of content there in the past. So this year, I'm really just going to like not think about any other platforms. I'm just going to do one video a week. And so that's going to be the input there. And then with my email list, I've been doing usually about one email a week, which has been the newsletter every Saturday morning, Friday in the US. And so this year I'm going to step that up a little bit. I'll probably do another couple of emails every week that'll be a little bit more sales focused, a little bit more lead gen focused. But the important thing here is to just get this going consistently, because it's definitely been more ad hoc in the past. Even though it's worked, it's not really working at the level that I think it could be. And so the inputs here are really just like 50 to $100 a day on paid ads, one video a week on my YouTube channel, and then 2 to 3 emails per week. And I'm fairly confident that if I can just do that over the next we've already eaten up like 4 weeks this year, so 47 to 48 weeks this year, then I should be able to hit my kind of income goals. So that's the engine, and then all that's going to be driving traffic to the two websites. One is just a very standard website, and the other one is a sales funnel. So this is a new website I built recently. If you haven't checked it out, go to exilelent.com. Definitely let me know what you think. But I just tidied this up a little bit. The last platform that I was using was built on Kajabi, which is where my training program, the Accelerator, was hosted. And so it just looked more like an education platform than a film production company, is the basic way to put it. And I wanted Exile to have a website that looked much more like a film production company, because that's the core of what I do. I'm still producing films every year. And so, yes, while we run the Accelerator, and yes, while we have this service, which is an EP service, it's still a production company, and it should speak to my main audience, which is filmmakers. So I updated that over the last few weeks. I built that on Webflow. Webflow is really a great website to use. I basically came up with so I used a template, came up with like the copy and some ideas of the videos and trailers and images that I wanted on there. And then I just hired someone on, I think it was Fiverr or Upwork, to put it all together. Webflow is like, I think you kind of need to know what you're doing. It's not like so intuitive like Squarespace. So if you build on Webflow, definitely recommend getting someone to help you put it together. And then this is my funnel. So any of the ads will actually be running to the funnel, and then there'll be any leads can opt in to watch a training video and then book a call with me. So that's how that works. And that's hosted on ClickFunnels, which is, I think, still the best kind of place to host a funnel. So then what will I be selling? So I've got two products, the Accelerator and Fast Track Film Finance, which is my EP service. So 2019 to 2022, kind of midway through 2022, this didn't exist. And so I was selling mainly the Accelerator and then obviously producing my own projects. And then towards the end of 2022, I launched the EP service because a lot of people in my Accelerator, like I was asking them, what else do you guys want? A lot of them said like a more hands-on service, and so I put together this EP service that is essentially like the Accelerator. It's just me helping filmmakers finance their films, but I'm a lot more active and involved in the process. And so kind of end of 2022 till end of 2023, I just focused then on selling this because it was too much to do both, and I was getting quite a few people coming in through the Accelerator into the EP service, and then people kind of hitting me up cold and coming into this as well. So I just focused on selling this, but the Accelerator kind of took a back seat, and what I'd like to do this year is really bring this back in, because I think it's a great product. It gets people results. It's a much more affordable price point for filmmakers, particularly debut feature filmmakers. Like this one sits around 5K, just under 5K. This one at the moment is going up to like 16K. So it's a big price difference, and not everyone is going to be able to jump straight into this. But I know I can help them through the Accelerator. From a delivery point of view, this one's much easier for me to deliver or fulfill because it's course based, it's group coaching, as community, so it's less in terms of it requires less like hands-on work from me, whereas this one is much more like intensive, requires me to be working on the projects every single day. But originally I thought like maybe I can just run the EP service But I think it makes most sense to have both. Like both products are proven, they both work, they're both profitable. And so what I'd like to look at this year is running both for the entire year, using that traffic engine and really seeing what outcome that gets me. And yeah, then obviously I can work out if I just basically keep running those ones going forward. So that's the main difference for the product engine. It's basically just like reintroducing the accelerator, and selling that on the front end, and then having the EP as like a back end product. On the project side, so I'm working on a thriller at the moment. It's called True Nature. It's with a director who I've worked with a couple times. It's his third feature film. Last year there was a bigger project that I was developing called Antonio's. It was like an adaptation of a children's novel. The co-producers that I'm working with are going to potentially turn that into a different format, not a feature film. So I'm going to take a bit of a backseat on that unless it comes back into a feature film. So that means I've just like changed my focus now. I've been developing this project for like the last almost 4 or 5 months with the filmmaker, and with another producer. And so that's something that we're going to start financing probably in the next couple of months. So I'll put out some content about this as it starts coming together. But that's going to be the main project that I produce. On the team side, so I'm still running the solo company. That was a big decision I made last year. It just wasn't making sense to have more than me kind of employed with the business purely from a financial point of view. I would have loved to keep working with Tessa, who I was working with at the time, but it just didn't make sense financially. And as I was kind of working all this stuff out, um, yeah, it just wasn't manageable. So I went back to solo. I've been enjoying that up to this point. I think there's going to come a point where I probably ride that out. Like, I think it will have to change at some point. If it does, what I really want to focus on is just keeping it a really lean team. So I definitely don't want to be building a team that is too big, particularly at the start. And I think focusing on like growing sustainably is really important. Um, but on the accelerator side, the obvious first person to hire with this type of front end product is a sales rep, someone that can just take over the calls, because that is the biggest, it's the most time consuming aspect of that product. It's, you need to be doing like 4 to 5 calls a day. Each of those calls run for like 45 minutes to an hour. And so that eats up a lot of time. So bring on a sales rep would really be the first person I bring on there. And then potentially like someone that can help with just managing any questions in the community. Obviously, like I do the Q&As on that. But yeah, there could be someone in there to really just help kind of manage the community side and helping deal with clients. So, but beyond that, I think you can keep that type of company pretty lean, that type of product pretty lean. On the EP side, if that keeps growing the way that I'd like to, or like I envisage a team, is rather than having more EPs like me doing everything, actually like split up the stages and then have people who are really specialized. So have like development manager, line producer who's doing like budgeting and finance plan and cash flow and drawdown schedules, someone who's just pitching to sales agents and distributors, someone who's just helping clients raise private equity, and then someone who's just managing the business and legal side, because we actually manage the like all the tax incentives and closing the finance and all that. We actually manage that for the client. And so that could be an area where, yeah, it's just like one person focused on all the projects and just taking care of that, which is really, it's a big time suck for a production. So that's how I'd break it up. Obviously that would require a certain level of clients to be coming in each month. So that's not something that I'm really focused on for 2024, at least at the moment. I mean, depends, we've got to see how it goes. But that's something that I could see in the future in terms of like how to set this up and how it could run. I think that would be the ideal way to do it. And on this side, finance network, like this really remains unchanged. still finance films in the same way, private equity, tax incentives, distribution advances, sales agent advances. With this particular film, I think, we'll probably go for some soft money. We've managed to get some soft money with this filmmaker before, so we'll probably try and get some grants in there as well. And on the network side, Inner Circle, I don't see that changing. I don't want that to change. I really just want to keep working with the same people here over and over and just making those relationships tighter. On the outside, like sales agents, distributors, I've got the ones who I've worked with a bunch now. So I'll probably be pitching them first and giving them almost like a first option to come on board. But then beyond that, still always trying to expand those networks, meet new people, work with new companies. And then same with festival selectors. I've got some pretty good relationships now. I think what would be good here is to start going to a few more of the markets just to meet more of these people face to face, because a lot of it is still just email relationships. And then publicists, I think that's pretty tight now. So that could almost move into the Inner Circle. I don't think that will change now that we've got a domestic publicist who we work with in Australia and one internationally. So that's the setup. That's how it all looks for 2024. That's how I'm running the business this year. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments section below. Happy to answer any questions that you have about this. Hopefully it's helpful, gives you some ideas for how you can run your own business, whether it's just a service business, or maybe you have some sort of online kind of course or product as well that you're either running or thinking about running. All right, so that's it for this one. If you liked it, hit the like button and I'll see you on the next one.